Croeso i'r channel. Welcome to the channel. This is Benjamin, and today, knowing what our names mean for places around the world and how they've changed and what we think of them help us to understand ourselves. And Africa is quite a mysterious name. Where does it come from? That's what this video is about. From our perspective, a European perspective, and specifically this channel being to do a lot with Wales, we have two words for Africa in Welsh. The proper traditional one, yr Afrig, that's quite unique, and Africa. I mean, if you have one as cool as yr Afrig, why use the English one? But that word yr Afrig doesn't come from the English root, it comes from Latin. That ga sound means that it's squished between two vowels. Early on, this comes from Latin, and the word Africa we know today comes from Latin. That doesn't tell us what it means, and it doesn't tell us what it was before Latin. The Greeks called the place Libya, and Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BCE, spoke of the continent being divided between two main peoples, the Libyans in the north and the Ethiopians in the south. Now the name Libya meant the land of the Libu, or the Ribu. The R and the L in a lot of languages, like Semitic languages, has changed and shifted, and this Libu tribe was probably of Berber origin. When Rome took over, winning the Third Punic War in 146 BCE, obliterating their rival Carthage, they gave it a new name. Africa was the name of the province for the whole swathe of the northwest African coast. They still referred to Libya as being in the interior, but the most affluent part of that African region they called Africa. That gradually their focus and political emphasis would have shifted to this as being Africa. We see Africa gradually doing this, displacing Libya. So what does it mean? There are two parts. This Ika ending is Latin for land of, like Celtica. Julius Caesar wrote about Gaul, land of the Celts. Britannica, the Encyclopedia Britannica, literally means the encyclopedia of the land of the Britons. Now you know. But the Afri bit is a bit more problematic. We're not entirely sure, but there are a few theories for this. As this was colonized by Phoenicians, which gave birth to Carthage, it makes sense to look in the Phoenician language, a Semitic language. Afar means dust. It could be that this was the land of dust. It's a very dusty place. It does seem Semitic, and so it makes sense to look into another Semitic root, Berber, the native peoples of that region, before Islam came in, and before Carthage came in, actually. Ifra means cave in a Berber language, and Ifran is a plural. There are quite a bit of caves in those Atlas Mountains and along the ridge extending into Algeria. Maybe that's what it was. Then again, this was conquered by Rome, and they could have simply put in a name that meant something to them. Africa in Latin means sunny. It's very sunny. But it does have a Semitic feel to it. And it could come from Egyptian, though we're not sure. Ka means the vital essence in Egyptian mythology. In Egyptian mythology, there were different parts of the soul that fit together to create a soul. And Ka was what food and drink gave nourishment to. And when you died, the Ka left the valley. The valley? You can tell I'm in Wales. The body. but the initial bit, Afroï, would mean turning back to the opening, basically the womb, turning back to the mother in a sense. It could mean that Africa means motherland, or going back to the beginning. Another Semitic language that was certainly around at the time was Hebrew. And they would have been in Egypt, obviously, and possibly connecting west into Libya. And there's a word in Hebrew in scripture, Ophir, meaning rich. Now this is said to be a port somewhere, potentially, trading wealth and riches. And further south, present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, there's the Afar people. It could be that Africa is named for the Afar. So you can see we don't really know. But it seems to me that what probably happened is you have the Iga bit, in Latin, land of, with an initial element that's Semitic, in my opinion. Probably coming either from Berber or Egyptian, rather than Hebrew, but I wouldn't count it out. And in showing you how little we know about it, it says a lot about we in Europe, about how we viewed this African continent. We knew a lot about the coastal regions, but going beyond and into the desert, it was a vast mystery. Thank you for watching the video, and a special thanks to my Patreons, and we'll see you next time.